There's never going to be a filter out there that will protect you from every situation known to mankind. What you hear from education is another person's experience. This is not an industry to be afraid of being wrong. This is the opposite. You must not be afraid of being wrong because you're going to be wrong. It's part of the methodology. If the attitude is, well, I should make something today, then it has a very short career span in trading. That's a very good question. Sometimes you do the best that you can do. You do all your analysis and you've done all the work. You've checked all your correlations. You've ticked all the boxes that you're supposed to do for whatever your system or strategy is. But then there's just this one or two additional things that missed. You were not able to grasp everything and they go by you. Or you're looking to do a trade for a sell and that happens to be the last moment where the buy comes in. And you're just like, oh man, I got stuck into that trade even though I've followed everything in my rules, everything was correct, but then I got squeezed into that thing. There's never going to be a filter out there that will protect you from every situation known to mankind. That doesn't exist. You want proof? Ask your parents. Your parents have been trying to protect you their whole life from every little nuance that comes your way. Have they hit a 100% success rate? It's humanly not possible to hit a 100% success rate, so you can't avoid it. So if you know it's coming, well, you need to prepare on how to manage it when it comes your way. So you have to mark in there. So let's say you're taking 10 trades, right? From the 10 trades, you have to give yourself a realistic number of how many of these are going to be losses. You can't say, ooh, 9.5 out of 10 times I'm going to be winning. Nope, that's a lie and that's not a career, okay? That's a fluke. That happens every once in a while. So from 10 trades, how many of those are losses? If your number is 4, 5, 6, you're doing well and you should expect those numbers to happen. This is given that you're trying to make a decent risk to reward every time. So keep that in mind. You don't want to lie to yourself, or you don't want to be lied to if someone tells you that if you don't have a 95 or 98% accuracy, you don't know what you're doing. I think that person doesn't know what he's doing or what she's doing. So be careful, okay? If you're sizing up on a trade, few things that you have to think about. Why am I sizing up? Okay, are you sizing up to cover for a previous loss? Is that why you're sizing up? Then already the word sizing up is incorrect. Sizing up comes in is when you know what you're doing and you're trying to double down on it and you're trying to make the most out of it. There should never be a size up when there is no purpose for you to make more money. Okay, so a size up is to make more than you currently are. That's what a size up means. But to simply say, I'm currently in a loss, last trade wasn't a loss, and this trade I'm gonna size up. Size up of what? The loss? So the vocabulary size up, it doesn't match with the idea of what it's actually used for. It's used to multiply your gains bigger. Okay, so if that is not the situation you're sizing up on, then the word size up should be removed from the dictionary and you should not be even considering sizing up at this stage. So first of all, sufficient knowledge doesn't really exist. It's endless. If it's endless, then you work on the opposite. You must always dip your toes into the market. The moment knowledge comes your way, you need to start practicing it. Because what you hear from education is another person's experience. Okay, experiences are good. They come in handy, right? They protect you from many things that you might not notice. But these experiences are not your experiences. Okay, what they can do is they can point you in the right direction, but you still need to build your own experience. You need to look at things in a different way. When you approach the market and someone tells you, there's this in a range, when the prices are at resistance, you need to sell. And then you try doing that for 3, 4, 5 times and you realize inside a range, when prices reach resistance, sometimes I notice it goes higher and then it goes down. Maybe I should do more of those. I like those because my probability of winning is higher on those. Great. That is in education somewhere, but you figured it out through wrong and right. To not dip your toes in the market basically means you're afraid to be wrong. This is not a industry to be afraid of being wrong. This is the opposite. You must not be afraid of being wrong because you're going to be wrong It's part of the methodology. You must be wrong because you cannot have a 100% success rate. So to train to not be wrong doesn't exist. It's a waste of time. So you got to really remember that, okay? You need to maximize your wins when you have them and not focus on how do I not have this loss. You're putting the energy in the wrong direction. So you need to observe what makes me win and can I do that again? If you're able to do that again, can I multiply? Can I do that bigger? Can I scale in? So that's where you want to, put a lot of your energy into stuff like that. So, but don't be afraid. Obviously, you can go small. You can always demo. You can have a accountability buddy, they call it. So you get a friend who is a motivating person for you, someone who encourages you to take the next step. What you need in the beginning is someone to push you to be better, to do better. Okay, so please don't be afraid of dipping your toes in the market. Okay, good question. If it's a higher time frame, I don't mind it. Generally, the news event should be in my favor if I'm in a higher time frame. However, if I'm on a lower time frame, exiting before seeing how the event unfolds, calms down, and then can enter after, if the thesis is still there. Great question, and it's very applicable to today. Here's the thing, not every day is a day that has a setup. Not every day should you be trading, right? Like that's something that's like almost 101. Everyone should know that because we all understand that in trading, it's not like a real job where you come in, you take a paycheck, you put in your time, you put in your hours, and then you go home and you're like, I should make something today. If the attitude is, well, I should make something today, then it has a very short career span in trading. So if you enter and you start the day with this idea of, well, I gotta make at least $10,000 today. Then what you're doing is you're not leaving the mind open to let me see what the market has for me today versus what do I need and the market should provide. Market doesn't need to do anything, right? So you have to understand that. So having that logic, reeling it backwards, brings us back to there are days where you might not see your setup, whether you're trading together with Urban Forex or you're trading on your own. You might not see your setup all the time. And when you don't see your setup, you are now in an area that is an unfamiliar territory. When you're in an unfamiliar territory, you're supposed to behave differently or not be there at all. So now, for example, every day you might have this ritual of you'd wake up in the morning, you do your morning routine, and you're like, I'm gonna get my coffee in my nearby coffee shop from my house. So you walk there, you take your coffee to go, and you head back to your car, and then you're off to the office or home office or wherever you might be going after that. But now you've traveled, you're now in a different country. Now you've woken up in the morning, and now you're trying to do the same routine. Everything is a little bit different. It's unfamiliar territory. And you're trying to do your routine. It might go smoothly, it might end up in a disaster. Okay, so this is the awareness you need to bring. When you are in an unfamiliar territory, you have to be on your toes, or you simply say, I'm just gonna have coffee in my hotel. You're not supposed to change it up completely and start going into alleys and areas where you probably don't even know you should be there. Okay, so same thing happens in trading is if your setup's not there, leave it alone. You don't have to trade everything. Not every day should be a trading day.